call this July 7th, 2026 Essex County Board of Supervisors work session to order. April, you do a roll call, please?
Chairman Akers.
Present.
Vice Chairman Gill.
Present.
Supervisor Hale.
Present.
Supervisor Henry.
Here.
Supervisor Magruder.
Here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Great. First thing on our agenda, we have the Youth Incentive Fund. Nita?
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
We took some of your comments from a couple months ago regarding the Youth Incentive Fund, Youth Enrichment Fund, and we have revamped the guidelines, and then I've created a sample of what would be an online application. Some of the items in the fund guidelines where we go through outlining everything for the organizations to understand what it can be used for, and then how to apply for it. Some of the criteria that we've included are a copy of the organization's most recent financial statement should be included with the application. The funding request should not comprise more than 25% of the organization's total annual budget. If y'all want to discuss that amount, I just selected that. And that funding request should range from $500 to $5,000 annually. That way it preserves the pot for some other organizations to be able to participate. The process would be that the applications are, again, submitted through an online portal to the county administrator's office. They'll be reviewed and considered if fully completed and all materials are included. And then we'll bring a recommendation to the board for that request. And if the board chooses to award what's requested, or the board can discuss and award a different amount, then we'll contact the applicants with the email address that they submitted on their application with their award notice.
Good board. So if you recall, one of the reasons we brought this up was we had like one organization that got all the funds out of it. We said we need to be able to spread that out and have a little bit cleaner process, and that we as the board should be the approval body of that. We should get the recommendation from the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee, but the approval of the funds should actually come from the board. So I think you guys are putting this together. You guys have any questions on that? I think it's.
It doesn't say the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. Who will be the actual judges who will make the recommendations to the Board of Supervisors?
So that process is recommended to change because it was done by the Parks and Rec Advisory Commission before. This is saying we'll vet the applications and it'll be up to this board to determine who receives awards. We wouldn't eliminate anybody other than not push forward applications that are not complete.
So you will not be making any recommendations. Now,
No.
you say that in these guidelines here.
That's right.
In the second bullet, or maybe the third bullet, it says recommendations will be made to the Board of Supervisors for their final approval.
I can change that language. My intention was we would recommend by bringing forth the applicant. So I could say
Okay.
Right.
completed applications will
Maybe
be
clarify
presented.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
Meaning we're gonna vet any that don't qualify
Correct.
out and
We
just
will
bring us
not
all that
bring those
qualify.
forth if they haven't submitted everything as requested. But
Something,
if they
something
have,
like all eligible applications will be submitted
Yes.
to the Board of Supervisors.
I
That's
can make
right.
that change.
Yeah.
Board members, any other comments, questions regarding that? Ideas?
This is gonna start when?
To be effective
As soon as you
we
approve it.
agree.
Okay.
And for Mr. Magruder, I know it's always a hot topic for him, on the application, we asked to list any other partners and resources that contribute to your organization.
I saw that, thank you.
Okay.
You just put on there, did the town give any money? That's what John wants to know.
That should also be another line, but that's beside the point.
That is good, because does it have a place in there? I know it says other partners. Does it show, like total funds? I guess if they submit their financials, we'd have that.
We do ask for what their budget is and their budget narrative, so they can explain how this will assist them in fulfilling their budget needs.
I know the Little League, at least 2 years ago, did a pretty bang-up job doing fundraising,
They do.
private fundraising and everything. So that's just good to know to even, you know, recognize them for it, so, okay.
Just, and this may be nitpicky, but we need to see actuals and budget.
Yes.
Because, is that implied here? Did I miss it?
I think the budget is on there, and then by asking them to submit their most recent financial statement,
Okay.
that would be more in line with their
Because
actuals.
a projected budget could be, you know, way out there.
Right.
You go back and look at the actuals, and it may be different, so. yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Kate. Do we have this on our regular meeting for action?
No.
We can add,
what the feedback would be, because it can be added.
yeah, if somebody will remember to add that when we do our agenda, we can add that on there.
Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have budget bill, the referendum, and additional sales and use tax discussion. Max, that would be you.
So there was a lot of back and forth on this.
You know I'm getting excited, Max. We've been
there's
talking about this for years.
additional sales and use tax authority for new construction or major renovation of school facilities. This was, has been authority for specified localities for a number of years. There was legislation proposed to expand that to all localities in Virginia. That did not pass. The language was re-included within the budget bill and passed as amended. So that is effective July 1 of this year. All localities can, if approved by referendum, adopt an ordinance to impose an additional sales tax. Thereafter, they can impose an additional use tax as well. So it is absolutely at the discretion of the board. That process gets kicked off by a resolution that then gets ordered, a special election by the circuit court. If the board wants to sync that special election up with the general election in November, there's some pretty tight timelines. So there is a draft resolution for you all's consideration, but it is not mandated to sync up with the general election. So if the board wanted to take more time, think about it, and, you know, decide later, there's authority to do that as well.
Is it 1% for the sales tax increase? Is that what it is?
That's correct.
And then what about the use?
Same thing, up to 1%.
So you have total of 2%. And I think that's for 20 years, you have it up to 20, is that correct?
That's correct. The tax can be authorized for up to 20 years from the date of the resolution being adopted.
So, in other words, if there was some kind of major construction for the schools, we're doing some major renovation and we decided to finance it, then we could actually have that repayment go back over that period of time that we do a bond or whatever for. So, gives us a little bit, little help with paying something back if we need to.
Just a question, Max. If we did not enact this ordinance this year in time for the general election, could we do it next year? Is there any time limit on when you have to act?
No, there's no time limit on it other than the statutory amendments are embedded in the budget bill. So it's a biennium budget. So
Yeah, I saw that.
theoretically, if that doesn't get reenacted next General Assembly session, there could be some issues July 1, 2027-ish. But my expectation is this would continue through the budget discussions at least, and then might get codified as an official legislation next year. But that's the only real timeline that is potential, is if it's not adopted at sometime in 2027, then would there still be statutory authority in 2028?
Right.
I don't know.
So if it passed through referendum and we went through that process, we're not obligated to start collecting the 1%. We could do 0.25% or
That's correct.
or even waive it. So it's kind of like getting your name kind of listed as being able to do it, because once you're set, I'm assuming it would be set.
That's right. The process is, it has to be kicked off by a resolution. That resolution authorizes the petition to the circuit court. The circuit court orders the special election. if the referendum passes, then the board is authorized to adopt an ordinance. That doesn't mean the board has to adopt an ordinance. It just isn't allowed to until there's a referendum that's passed.
Can I get a more detail? What exactly comes under use tax? Is that restaurants? Is that Airbnbs? Is that what? Services? What is it?
I would have to look at, because it's all delineated in the statutes.
Okay.
As to what qualifies under the use tax and what qualifies under the sales tax, and what doesn't qualify for either of those categories.
Okay. Because at one time, they just talked about, and some counties have done it, just on restaurant tax, and that was it. That was what they were allowed to tax. So this is broader than that, I guess, is what I'm asking.
This is broader than
Okay.
just a meals tax or a food and beverage tax.
When do we need to decide this, if realistically, and as soon as possible, that's fine if we need to do it tonight, or whatever. Because folks, the referendum, is for the people to decide. So the sooner we can get that on there, the better. Then if that gets approved, then we can decide some other things after that, correct me if I'm wrong, so. But, so when is our, and to not burden people, you all, our staff here, April, whatever, is the answer sooner the better?
Yes, in a word, yes. There is a deadline for the court to order a special election in order for it to sync
Right.
with the general
And
election.
when is that?
That would
roughly?
be August
Sometime in
21st, I believe.
So we would have to
So-
do it no later than next month.
Because the
Right.
primaries will end next month as well,
Okay.
so it's gotta be next month. That's what it
Okay.
is.
In your use tax, John, if it's like it typically is, I think that's buyer tax you pay as a buyer for
Correct.
bringing stuff in.
Correct.
So that could be any goods that are purchased outside of the state and come in to a particular business.
Exactly. And the point is, folks, that, we have a lot of travelers that come through this town purchasing things. I know, from a local perspective, nobody wants to add another % tax, but the question is, either we have to raise property taxes to pay for school improvements or building a new school or whatever, future may hold for schools. If we can generate 25%, 50%, or whatever that revenue from people that don't live here, it'd be foolish not to take advantage of that. And this is where this can help a lot.
Do we happen to know, do we look at a number to see what typical sales tax is currently? I mean, it'd be a fairly easy number to calculate to know what 1% of what's currently being received in sales tax, so we could have that for our
Again,
next meeting.
that discussion could be had later, it's no problem, but I would have no objection whatsoever to put this on our regular agenda to approve tonight. I have no objection to it. I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
I would agree. I think these things are coming, and we have to have a way to finance them. If we can do it over a longer period of time and ease that burden, so it's not
Absolutely.
putting it on our property taxes, then I think that's,
And Max, does it stay in the statute and all that money has to be set aside for that purpose?
Yes,
School
the ordinance authorizing the tax would be specific for it to be new construction or major renovation.
Let me ask you, it says new construction or major renovation. How do you define major renovation? Is it an eye of the beholder?
It is not defined,
Okay, so it is an eye of the
yes.
beholder.
So the bottom line, folks, it's a lockbox, so to speak. It is there to do that capital improvement, major renovation, school build, whatever. And, that's good long-term thinking right there, folks. So I would encourage, I'll go ahead and put it on the agenda, and you can decide which way you want to vote on that. But I would like to put it on the agenda for our regular session.
We would need to get a resolution number for this, I think, right?
We can assign that pretty easily.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. That's good news, folks. It really is.
board members have any other questions on that?
New construction, does it have to be does it have to be a school? It could be any building that is adjoined with the school.
It can be it could be an annex, it could be, yeah, anything that,
Could be a gym too.
Gymnasium, sure, why not?
Okay.
Auditorium, whatever.
That's
So
major.
whatever they deem this necessary to be.
Could be a VOTEC center, it could be a, it could be a,
Remodel
it
VOTEC
could be
center.
an alternative school.
School.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Dream big, buddy, dream big.
All right.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you. Next, animal shelter update. Unfortunately, I was unable to go to this, so I'll rely on my guys that went just to give us an update and tell us what you thought.
Well, we toured two, one in New Kent and one in King William, King Queen, both very nice facilities. Of course, the one in New Kent has just been open since January. It's very clean, very nice. If we could set the bar that high, that'd be great, but I don't know that we can afford it. But, it was a nice facility, for
Do they
sure.
have like vet facility or anything like that? in it?
No,
That's where we can raise our bar too.
I'll make a quick comment on that since you brought it up. Both directors there love that idea. They would thought to put a veterinary clinic next to their animal shelter would be the way to go. They were really happy to hear us say that.
Now, both of them do have vet services.
See,
but
they
had-
did.
They had to bring in an outside vet. I do want to thank Sheriff Holmes and his staff for helping organize this and driving. Thank you. And yes, as Calvin said, the facility in New Kent is new, it's 10,000 square feet. And that's manned by the animal control officers and maintained by the animal control officers. The one in King William is the techs handling it. So there's a difference in the workforce there. I kind of favor the techs working it. I think maybe, I don't want to speak for the sheriff, I think he favors the same thing. And then the one in King William is about 20 years old, but it's still very functional. And so, yeah, it was very interesting to see that. And also, the one in New Kent had a large animal access. They had some stables out, and that's on 12 acres, so they could do a little stable area if they had to bring in horses, goats, chickens, whatever, and
Wildebeest.
whatever.
Elephants,
Some-
whatever.
Sometimes you have to confiscate a lot of stuff, so, anyway.
both places were very helpful. They had a lot of suggestions of things that they wish you had done different, things that make sure that you have this and you have that. I think it was a good trip. But we also found out that you don't have to actually have a vet. You could have a vet tech work there and they can do most of the stuff, except for major surgeries without being a full veterinarian.
You can have telemed, a televet, and the tech would work with the real vet remotely.
In addition, we talked about, the New Kent facility actually separates, the cats and the dogs to different sides so that they don't hear each other or anything, which they say is very healthy for the animals that way. They also talked about, I asked about, expansion. Did they build that in with their build? New Kent did. I said King William, King Queen is 20 years old. They wish they did, So, we can start at a certain size, and if, need be, future generations can add to the building if designed properly. They talked a lot about different systems and having plenty of room for storage. And I believe that New Kent has a really active, what do you call it? Friends group for the
Friends group,
animals and
yeah.
all that. And I know we do as well. So they encourage that a lot. They got a lot of donations to build that building, which was helpful. They had some great ideas. They're talking about a process that probably will run maybe 3-4 years, from planning stage to completion, if you want to do it right.
The build itself will take 12 months, but you got the planning ahead of time, so.
What was what was the cost of that construction? Did they tell you what the cost was?
Oh, it's cheap.
6.5 in New Kent.
So we can build it twice as big and half the cost. is our goal.
Be all right.
We can build it we can build half that size.
And they
But-
talked,
But plan for expansion.
and they would talked about making it public friendly, because that really, makes it easier for adoptions and stuff. And, King William just went to no-kill, so they're very proud of that fact, as we are as well. So, a lot of good tips and all that. I'll see if Sheriff Holmes has any other comments and all. I know you were taking copious notes, so I was impressed.
And all the details being sent to you by email too, so it's good.
Yeah. I'll make-
Well worth it.
The New Kent facility is named after a former sheriff in New Kent County, so, there you go. I didn't say anything.
And last quick question. Both directors there said anything that we need, they are going to be more than helpful. And I was really impressed with their openness and willingness to help us make a great facility. So that was good news.
You can also, they highly recommend, which I don't even have in my office, a salad bowl. Bring your animals in.
That's true.
For the ones that is wild and they would salad put out. That's great. You know.
Yeah.
We can tame them, they can't get out, they can't even have to lose us, that's a good idea. And both, tenants that we talked to, that was the first thing, when John asked me, said, we like mostly about the facility, he said salad bowl.
Yeah.
So, I can tell you a little story about my sheriff office in South Florida. Anyway, that got, my sheriff office got cut out years ago when they built the sheriff office because they wanted to put a slate roof on it. So, but South Florida, you know, I love the church. I love the church. You stop my parties all the time.
There you go.
It is very functional, to have that.
And I appreciate all the supervisors of the county that could make it with us. I'd like to give a shout out to John for that.
Was their facility, is it pretty centralized in the county, or is it?
King William is, and New Kent probably is too. It's past New Kent Courthouse, but it is kind of in a remote area of the county. But you can be near 64 in a heartbeat and
Right.
249. So.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you for those guys that could go. Apologize I wasn't able to go, but I'll make sure I make the next one. I talked enough about it and had to back out, so that is on me for sure. All right, board members, any other?
Mr. Chair, but
There you go. That's fine. Sir.
before we get off of those business items, just wanted to make sure we're clear in the record about if that resolution is going to be added to the regular agenda. There's a new law in effect July 1 that items can't be added to an agenda once the meeting has commenced. So I wanted to be clear that if this board is adding that to the regular agenda prior to that meeting commencing, so we can get that updated and,
So we don't need to approve an agenda anymore?
well, you can still add things, but there are special criteria for adding
Gotcha.
them. So I don't think it would qualify to add, I will say, I don't think we need to worry with that procedural mechanism if it's added before the meeting commences.
Gotcha.
So I just wanted to make sure that it's clear, whether by consensus or otherwise, that it's added as a regular agenda item.
We'll just have Gina add both items on while we're in closed and republish, and that'll address the concern.
Yep.
Is that fine?
Good work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for me. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll still ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
We'll still approve it, it'll just be updated prior to
Yeah.
approving the amendment.
Yep, gotcha. Perfect. All right, with that, will somebody read us into closed session?
I move that the Essex County Board of Supervisors convene in closed meeting pursuant to Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3711A1 for the discussion, assignment, and appointment of appointees to the Planning Commission, and pursuant to Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3711A3 for discussion and consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and the disposition of publicly held real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the board related to the leases or use agreements, potential property acquisition, and sites for public facilities.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. We're in closed session. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn back in open meeting
So moved.
or resume back to meeting?
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. April, you read, I guess, do a roll call, please.
And Chairman Akers.
Present.
Vice Chairman Gill.
Present.
Supervisor Hale.
President.
Supervisor Henry.
Here.
Supervisor Magruder.
Here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Somebody please read the compliance certification.
Whereas the Essex County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed session on this date pursuant to an affirmation recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the board that such closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, there it be resolved that the board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements of Virginia law were discussed in closed session to which this certification resolution applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the board.
Any member who believes that there was a departure from the requirements of clauses 1 and 2 shall state the substance of the departure that, in his judgment, has taken place. Hearing none, April, you please poll the members.
And Chairman Akers.
I certify.
Vice Chairman Gill.
I'll certify.
Supervisor Hale.
I certify.
Supervisor Henry.
I certify.
Supervisor Magruder.
I certify.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Vice Chair Gill, I believe you have an appointment to make.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to appoint Jamie Fawcett to the Planning Commission with a 2-year term ending December 31, 2029.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We reconvene at 7.